This video, we're going to do the auto tag first. So I'm going to leave prepare a form because we've got that all organized out. And I'm going to go to prepare for accessibility on the tools tab. And it may be closed. By closed, I mean you have the view less here. This tends to be the default view. So you would just click view more and you will have prepare for accessibility here. Okay. And as we know, if I click the tags, we have no tags available. Once more, you can auto tag from here, right click and select auto tag, or you can do it with the button. I'm going to do it with the button. And you can see what the form fields look like now without the highlights over them. I'm going to click auto tag document. And it's tagged up the document. Okay, so we've done that. The next thing that I would do if I was working on this document myself, which of course I am, but of course you're following along, is if I have a document that's more than one page and it's fairly complex in its structure, I like to break out the separate pages into section tags. The reason I do this is sometimes if I'm working through content and I have to retag some content on a page, it will generate the tag, but it may throw it randomly somewhere in the tag listings here. You can see that there's a lot of part tags in here and other things. And sometimes it will throw it somewhere that isn't in the order of the content you're working in. Not only that, but it seems to be somewhere random. For example, sometimes you might be working on something down in page 4 and find, oh, I need to tag something a little bit differently. And you tag it and it doesn't show anywhere near the tags. And you have to select tags and click arrows through to find the content. That can be a really long, tedious process. By sectioning out the pages separately, if something gets thrown into another section of the document by the tagging process, you can click the section tag for each of those and scroll the document and see if it highlights that piece of content. If so, you know where that tag lives without having to go through several hundred tags manually. Then you just expand out the section tag, find it in there, cut and paste it where it actually needs to go. So it kind of simplifies some of the weird eccentricities of the application when you get into the tagging. The other thing is you've probably noticed that sometimes if I change a tag or I change a reading order or I have to change a tag's designation, that it will take an expanded tag like this part tag here and it will close it. And it will close all of them. Which can be kind of frustrating when you're working very pinpoint in something. By doing the section tags, you sort of limit the number of tags that are in that section, and it just makes it a little bit easier to maintain your mental clarity, finding things and organizing things as you go. So the first thing I'm going to do with this is I want to take the content for each specific page and give it its own section tag. Since I've auto tagged this, I'm going to go ahead and save it once. Remember, save early and save often with PDFs. And I want to add section tags to it. I'm going to close up my tags in general. I'm going to select tags, right click, new tag. I'm going to add 4 section tags. Under new tag, find section. There are a number of these organizational tag types in the system. Part is one of them. You can see that use part tags. I like section tags instead. The reason I like section tags is because they stand out from the rest, because they're this sort of page outline with a red highlighted insert in it. Whereas part tags look like other tags, so they sort of blend in with the rest, and they can be a little bit lost to vision when you're working on a complex series of tags. Whereas the section tag, you're never going to mistake that for another tag type. It looks like this and it will always look like this. And I'm going to new tag, just add another 3 after it. That gives me my 4 section tags. I'm going to use my shift left click trick to select them all. Right click cut, select tags at the top, right click, paste child. There are my section tags for each of the pages. So now I want to find the content tags for all of these pages and separate them out into their various sections. We have the figure there. The figure is the letterhead sort of icon. And I'm just going to continue down here. We have a part tag. I don't really want to use part tags in this. So in this case, I will pull content out of the part tags. To do that here, I want it to be contiguous after the list here, right? So I select the part, and I'm going to select the H4, heading 4 here, and I'm going to shift left click to select the list underneath it. Right click, cut. Select the content I want it to be contiguous with, which is the list above it. Right click, paste. We have an empty part tag. I can delete it. And here's the part, contains, looks like the rest of the content for this page and some stuff on the next page. Okay, so these first two tags actually belong to the first page. So you can see why this would be a bit confusing. It has a part tag here, and you would think that that just is going to finish out the first page, but it doesn't. It continues on to the next page. I don't want it to do that. I want to have my page content isolated to each page. So I'm going to go to the bottom content, which is this review work arrangement review date, and it doesn't have, it has the field selected. It doesn't show anything else. And then it goes on to this table down here. Okay, so I'm going to select those two. I'm going to right click cut. And I'm going to come up to my contiguous tag, which should be this list here. It is. And just out of curiosity, what is this heading for? Okay. So I actually don't want to do the cut paste. I need to include that as well. Select, right click, cut. And I will come to my last contiguous one, right click, paste. So now we've got, if I arrow down through the content, there's our figure. It doesn't have that heading selected. But we'll run into that somewhere along the line. If not, we will probably have to manually tag it. If I go through here, that's my first page's content. It says that it basically has relegated this to a footer and invisible. That's okay. So I'm going to use my shift click, hold shift, and left click to select all those items of content. I'm going to cut them, select the first section tag, right click, paste child. And that gives me the entire first page, for the most part, except for this heading, as its own content. Brings us to the second page, starts with this table. I'm going to go ahead and go down to see what all we've got going on here. Form fields have been tucked with the paragraphs. Sometimes it's good to have a visual idea of what's going on there. And then it goes down here. Okay, so for the second page, this paragraph tag here is the last piece of content there. I will use my hold shift and left click to select all the content up through the table that makes up page 2. Right click, cut, select the second section tag, right click, paste child. Brings us to the third part. It's in a part tag, but it doesn't seem to have separate part tags, so it may be okay. We may not have to pull out of the part tags. I'm going to arrow down through this content, and it does stop. Well, it does have this acknowledgement form here and there, so I'm going to pop up one above and have a look. That's where that ends with this form field here. So these 4 items are the third page. Go to the top paragraph tag, hold shift, left click. We've selected all that, right click, cut, select the third section tag, right click, paste child. Close it up, and that should bring us to the last. It has assigned the table as a part section tag. It actually has 3 section tags here. We don't really need them. And it should be the rest of the content. Okay. So I'm going to select here, and I'm going to select this H4 and paragraph. Right click, cut, select the table that occurs above, right click, paste. And I'm going to select in this final part tag, the heading 4 through the final piece here, right click, cut, select the paragraph up here, right click, paste, delete the 2 empty part tags, select the table through the paragraph tag, right click, cut, select the section tag, right click, paste child, and delete the empty part tag. And now every page is in its own section tag, and we can begin working on the tags.